traveler said. You sailed in here. Where's your boat? Friend, you need a boat. Go see the builder in the caves. Tell them I'm sorry I never came back. The stranger had blazed their own path. The stranger had blazed their own path. Created their own rock, their own islands. They did not need Ember's kindness. But still, Ember stayed. Building a bridge should it ever be needed. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The Ember was curious. Where did you wake up? I'm headed for the crossroads. It's not far. I've heard there's a nest there, a safe place. The fisherman murmured quietly between sorrowful breaths. The fisherman felt so useless. His former joys were hollow. Sitting out there every day by the pond. Only the dark water to hear him talk. In that darkness, a glimmer flickered. A thought beating like a drum. A thought that went round and round. It all started with a frog. Every day by the pond, a constant reminder. For a brief moment, the fisherman struggled to speak. He looked at Ember, hopeful. The fisherman spoke softly. There's a frog in that pond, a big one. Saw him grow from a tadpole. We were friends of a sort, spent every day side by side. So much better at fishing than me, that frog is. Catches them before I can bait them. It makes me feel useless some days. The fisherman sighed. I've wasted so much time feeling like this. The old man looked carefully at the pond, at their rod, at Ember. Well, listen to me here, rambling on and on. It helps though, telling someone. Thank you, Ember. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. You saw the frog? Did the frog mention me? You asked the frog about me, see what they... Actually, no, just... Please don't tell the frog how much I talk about them. They say catching a fish isn't the point, so I tell myself that a lot. Poor little worms. They didn't ask to be here. But how do you fish with one for me, one for the fishes? Slurp 'em down. I chased old Blue Betty round this best days of my life. Had to use myself as bait. Stuck on me head ever since. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed on Ember, but it seemed to mean no harm. Was this the frog that the fisherman's... Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed. Was this the frog? Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. The traveler spoke. You ever had roast frog, friend? I miss a good roast frog. Oh, how they crackle. The stranger had been forgotten. They tried to follow as best they could. But no one heard them when they fell behind. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The old gate was locked. The crow held its shining trophy tight. The stranger whispered, "Ever feel like you are being watched? I've never felt that. What does it feel like? Is it nice? It sounds nice." He was nestled between the reeds, but it was just out of reach. The worm looked helpless, with no way to escape. As Ember picked it up, the worm let out a little yelp. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. This was not how Ember had imagined the end. The gurgling of water, a deafening heartbeat. But then... the frog returned Ember's good deed by leading them to a lost forlorn. The stranger stood alone. Their friends have fallen aside, retreating from what came next. The stranger had ventured on. Now they were deep in the woods. It felt so pointless. The stranger spoke hesitantly. "Is the campfire crowded? Let me gather myself. I'll see you there." Inside was a scrap of journal. The strangers on the water went on without me. Where have I landed? Vines and thorns stretch out to trip me.